Hello everyone, welcome back to more wiring, where I do wiring, you do wiring, we all do wiring. So I've done quite a lot since the end of the last stream, just because there's an absolute boatload to do and it's all just kind of boring wiring. So I've sort of just gotten on with it. So hello James and Lars. I see you're both using your VLMPs. Good. We're getting lots of them out in the wild now, which is really nice to see. So yeah, loads of wiring. Let me try and show you a bit of what I've done. So I think I did this last time, but I've added this tube in. This is mounted. I've added the Pi with the USB cable. It goes up to here. I've not used the included adapter. I thought it did the data and the power, in which case it'd be useful, but it doesn't. It just does power. So I'm just going to use ElectroPi for power, and then use the USB cable as any other setup, and that's going to be powered directly from the 24-volt power. What else have I done? Finished this wiring here, so all of these are now connected into hopefully the correct voltage, and I've wired the two end stops, so we've got end stop wiring coming through. I've also done the whole hot end assembly, hot end extruder. Let's just stand up to do this, it's much easier. Although I must say, at the moment, the handles being in the middle makes absolutely no sense, because the CFG is like way back here. So every time you pick it up, it just tilts backwards like this. The handles need to be at the CFG, otherwise they're not terribly effective. Anyway, yes, the hot end wiring is all kind of done. So I completely removed the whole sleeve from the Goliath. I don't really understand why it's on there. It just makes the wiring from the hot end way more difficult, and it takes up loads of space when all it is like two little wires. So I stripped that all off, plugged in the thermistor. I actually forgot this initially, but the thermistor is now plugged in. That's all wired into split tubing. The fan I trimmed, so cut down about, well, I kept like maybe 10 centimeters. And then added a Molex SL, which is a locking connector, and that'll be useful if I do need to replace the fan or disconnect it or whatever. And then the motor cable just goes straight through. The end stop's also connected here, so I've wired that in. I think we did that last time, at the end of last time. So that's finished off now. And that just goes, again, the wires just go all the way back over to there. I've also added in the duct mount thing at the back here. This was a bit of a pain, but it kind of works, kind of, sort of. There doesn't seem to be any accommodation for any wiring management, so you just have to sort of randomly zip tie it to stuff. Kind of works okay. We'll see how that goes in the long run. I also done a bit of work on the bed, although I've taken that off for now. I'll put that back in a second. Obviously there's lots to do. I don't know how far we're going to get today. I've started doing the firmware as well. There's lots of firmware stuff to get on with. So yes, just loads and loads of wiring stuff. And the wiring diagram is just really not very pleasant. I've not got on well with that at all, really, to be honest. So yeah, that's where we're at. Oh, I also made a different bed mount, so wiring mount. Oh, you can't really see it now. So where the drag chain comes up on the back over here, it comes up. The drag chain that's included is just one of those solid types, so you have to like poke all the wires through bit by bit. Awful. So I have an extra 3-hole type, which has the opening connectors. So I've redesigned the mount there, and that's printed with some heatset inserts to get that better drag chain installed there, which is quite nice. I think it might be a little bit wide. I've not increased the width, but it looks like it's going to be pretty close when it comes to panel clearance. So that'll be interesting. But yes. Now I'm just trying to work out where all these wires go on here, because this main board is kind of confusing. It's all got like 3 wire end stops for everything for some reason. So yeah. How many end stops do we have? 1, 2, X. There's no, where's the Y end stop? There isn't a Y end stop. Oh, no wonder I had a spare one. I must have had. Oh, are you joking? Are you joking? Are you joking, lad? Does anybody know where the Y end stop is supposed to go? Because I'm pretty sure that's what I'm missing. The X1 mounts on the carriage. The Z1 mounts at the top of the bed. And there is no Y end stop. Just when I was thinking I was getting there, I've missed an entire end stop. That's why I had one spare. It's senseless at the moment. I don't have that link now. It'll take me minutes to find that. If anyone can, let's see if Rec is available, because they've just finished building theirs. Yeah, the documentation at this point of the build is really starting to frustrate me. There is a wiring diagram, but as I pointed out with RatRig a long time ago, it's just not enough. Like it's useful, but it's a wiring diagram should be supplementary to the guide on how to wire the printer. Not just like, this is the diagram. Good luck getting it installed. I'm a little bit stressed today. So I'm going to be a little bit angry about everything probably. Don't take it personally. Yeah, missing end stop. Okay. So one of these is a fan and one of these is an end stop, and unfortunately I don't know which is which. So I've got this extra diagram that I'm looking at, but I'm not showing you at the moment. Second screen. Hey! Okay. It's the fact that this wire just goes over the top of this component and into the back of that. Oh god. It's so difficult to follow everything. And then you have bits like this where it goes, it could just go on this side, but no, it goes up here all the way along under this and then hops over there, squiggles and then in. This black line just gets hidden in here. Oh, it's so frustrating. Okay. So we got, that's thermistor. Fan, so fan goes look, the wires just go all over the place. Hot end fan goes down here. Okay, apparently the firmware as well is not quite right. So for anyone building around the same time as me, just be a little bit careful on that. So double check things before you plug it in, because obviously there's a bunch of different configurations for the printer, and if you use a different configuration, to what your printer has, that's not going to be great for you. Okay, this is the end stop switch. So X end stop goes right up here, so one of these ones, so it only needs to be short. That's good, kind of. Makes it a bit more difficult to crimp, but I'm sure we'll manage. Oh, I've lost chat. Where have you gone, chat? Oh, I can apologize in advance for potential complete loss of humor, lack of, what's it called? Sense of humor failure. It's it's potentially going to happen at some point today. It does look like the London. In fact, I would say the London tube map is a little bit more organized. So, oh, I've got this open twice apparently. Don't think I need the same diagram twice. That's not going to be useful. X end stop. The top and the middle. So we need our connector dooblies. Got some connector dooblies in here. And I've not really used any of the included connectors. You could do, if you wanted. I wired my LEDs into the fan port as per the wiring diagram, though they flicker, so I'm going to move the connection to one of the heaters. The flickers probably just do with the PWM rate. You need to increase the rate much higher to like a fraction of a second. Also, where does the YN stop go? I asked on Discord, but I think now you're here. It's because I just realized now that I've not installed a YN stop. And I don't think the printer's going to work particularly well without one. For the YN, for the end stop connections, it doesn't really matter. Oh, that's 4 pins. It doesn't matter which pin goes where. It's not like a positive and a negative. It's just a switch and connects one to t'other. So as long as you connect it into the right connections, plugs, whatever, then it should work fine. That goes there, so this goes here, and this goes here. That goes in there. That's our X end stop. Bit of extra wire. It's fine. Thank you. If you can, yeah, if you just DM me the picture. Ah, there. Exec has just sent a picture too. Where the dickens is that? I can't even tell where that is. Do I have a little metal bracket? Ah, that's what this is. Huzzah! Okay. Right. Now, where does it go? Tackling problems and problems and more problems. We have to get our soldering iron back. Hopefully we still got enough of this wire. Let's make it so we can make it the same as the other ones. Thank you for the picture, by the way. That was very helpful. Not so sure about your wiring, but the picture's good. Right. So that's the bracket. Oh, shit. On balance, though, you did finish your printer in like a week, whereas mine's been 6 or something weeks already. Probably more than that. And I'm still farting about. Okay, we're going to have plenty of wire. That's good. Let's strip the ends of this. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. No. Well, it is an afternoon anyway. One cannot possibly know how good it is. The other question now is whether I have any of those M2 screws left to attach everything together. That'll do. I think this printer definitely needs a lot more screws. I was told there was some M4x8s and M4x10s missing, but unfortunately I think the reality is that there's a lot more than that not missing? A lot more than that missing. Where's the wire? Oh, did I? Stripped ends, here we go. The other thing we want is some heat shrink. I did have some of that around at one point. It seems to have gone walkabout. Gone down to Walkabout Creek. Here. Hello, Steve. Oh, I did get that one. I recommend doing lots of planning for this build, Steve. Or watching all my streams in advance. Heater. What a safe surprise. The surprises are fun once you have a few. When it's like everything you do, there's a surprise. Oh. This has been one of the more emotionally challenging builds I've done in a while. Hello, Adam and Co. Tried to walk the dogs before the stream started, but a meeting at work got in the way. Better late than never. Absolutely. Right. So we need some M2 screws. The thing is, the complicated stuff on this build is there's not much really. Like the 5160s, CPAP, and 4 motors. That's like the main things that are really different. Anyway, I'm just moaning. I did mention earlier in the stream I may end up just moaning a bit today. I'm a little bit on the stressed side today, so everything makes me angry. STLs for the Werger holders are down in the description. At least they should be. They were from the last couple of streams, and I just copied the stream. So this should mount on here, something like this. But we need some doobly screws to go in this doobly hole. Doobly boobly doo. I don't think there's any more M2 screws, so did I bring some extras? M3 by 40, M4, M4. I've got M2s. I'll go get some M2s. Oh, Steve, just stock up on lots of screws. Like, weird sizes. This part is the Y end stop switch. Yes, I do apologize for everything being a little bit here, there, and everywhere. This is normally I would just follow a manual and title the streams accordingly, but because there isn't much manual, sort of just doing it as I go, and I realized just now that I had not installed a Y end stop switch, so now I'm installing one. Right, I think we're going to move the soldering iron back out of the way before I burn myself on it. I'd really like a nice big desk, although I have quite, it's not a large room really, but I do have a dedicated room for doing this stuff. It's all kind of on multiple different small workbenches, So I don't have like a nice large continuous workbench to kind of spread things along. There's like this bench here, and then this at a slightly different height, and then this bit over there that's a bit different and a bit wider. The one behind me that's taller and nicer for standing at, but not that wide. And I think Dream Workshop would be using this system of this extrusion that I put behind me and making a workbench that's like all the way around the room with like maybe a bit jutting out so I can do live streams on part of it. So I think somewhere up here is going to be my Y end stop position. I'm just going to check how this works, what it's actually contacting by putting it near to the existing carriage position. Yeah, so it touches the actual carriage itself. I'm not exactly sure where it needs to go. Again, no instructions. So can I move these wires out of the way? Move this clip for a second. I think just somewhere here. Kind of like the randomness. I can tell you the randomness is kind of stressful. If it feels, maybe it feels like I'm making up as I go along. Maybe that's the kind of feel. And that would be realistic. But I feel like as a reference later on for people, it's maybe less useful. Because if I have a stream that says, this is the bed assembly, then it's very obvious that if you need help with the bed assembly, you can go and watch parts of that stream. Whereas like this, it's like, there's no one bit that you can go and go, oh, this is the 3 end stops, because I've done one of them 6 hours ago in terms of live streaming, and one of them now. Okay, so that should, I don't know where this whole tube arrangement's meant to go when that comes back, but I think we're okay. Right. We can continue with some wiring stuff. So heaters probably are going down here. Let's move this pie over a little bit if we can. I have pretty decent stock of fasteners, anything out of the ordinary. Well, M4, I mean, obviously you're used to Voron size. Voron doesn't really use M4, does it? And this printer uses a lot of M4. M3x40. I mean, I thought I had pretty good stock, and then I started making this machine. I think it was just the M4s that have taken me off guard a bit. But yeah, make sure your screws are handy. And in fact, I mean, you might want to try a little torque test with the screws that are included, because I think I mentioned to you already the well, this is a slight exaggeration. The screws are kind of made of butter in that they're very soft. So as you try and torque them down, they just get eaten by your tools. So might be wise to just have some decent hard fasteners available. Right, that's that sorted. Where's my wiring diagram? Hello, Peter. What are we doing? Heater. Okay, for some reason that goes all the way down there. Okay. There it is. Go here, go there, go everywhere. I like the cable channels. These cable channels that they included, they would have been helpful for sorting out like some of the extra mess. But I think they're just about twice the size they need to be. I mean, the Voron 2.4 ones are way smaller than this. Well, I say the Voron ones, they're not Voron ones. They're the ones that LDO include in their 2.4 kit. So these are definitely the right thing, but also the right thing, but not the right size. Because as you can see, it's all quite compact. This is taking up a lot of space in this back area, which is like prime real estate, and maybe could be better off somewhere else. And this space here, if this was rearranged to have the inlet and the outlet somewhere adjacent here, then this space could be better used. Anywho's. I like the V there in the background, looks well used. Yes, it does, doesn't it? Oh, this way. Yeah, it's all just looks all murky and gunky and yuck. All the VLMP grips. So when anyone orders a custom sized grip, it always gets printed on that machine right there. It does other stuff too, but that's a pretty regular job. It's obviously not daily. I'm not selling thousands of VLMPs yet. But yeah, when the orders come through and people want a specific grip, straight on there. Yes, heaters. So heater wires, we need to go back to using ferrules. Yes, there is no Z Pro. That is a little bit weird, isn't it? It's a bit strange. I mean, there's no way anything going to be flat enough to not need a Pro. So I'm more likely to put clicky, I think. But we'll see. Huh. These wires are like pre-twisted. Neat. What size ferrules do we need? That size looks good. Yeah. I'm not sure. I have a PCB version clicky, because the printed one does fall apart occasionally for me, so clicky is definitely not perfect. But I want to try the PCB version, because I think it used screws and stuff as well, which should all stay together a little bit better. This heater again, while I've put red and black on the terminals. That's probably not a good idea because it actually doesn't matter. A heater is basically just a resistor that heats up, so it will work regardless of which way around you connect these connectors. I need more cable-y managey things really, but I just got a PCB clicky too. I've actually had mine absolutely ages. I think I bought it when this might be wrong. I might have an incorrect memory here. But I think it was when I built the second 2.4, because I was going to upgrade the blue, and I started buying parts, and then people would just like have these other cut pieces to make a 2.4. I was like, okay, I'll just build a whole new 2.4. And then I ended up putting something else on that, because just testing other things. And then the PCB is probably just in here somewhere. I have just like here, like this is a box of just like upgrade things that I need to do. Maybe this is a good candidate for members stream. Here you go, PCB clicky. Yeah, had it absolutely yonks. This was when Stealth Burner came out. I printed parts soon after that and just never did it. I get so carried away with various things. But members live stream, I think, is going to be a really good opportunity to do smaller things like that, because I'm trying to focus my main time in the future on my own projects. So like VLMP and calibration tools and stuff like that, stuff that I've designed, rather than doing promotion for other people. Because while it's fun to have that variation of playing with other people's stuff, ultimately I'd rather promote my own things, which I know I can trust. So that was end stop. So this is fan. So this fan is going down here somewhere into one of these. Hot end fan is going into this one here. We don't want it too short. Well, if you change bed surface at all, it just won't work, will it? So we'll see how we go. No probe does feel a little bit like a recipe for disaster, though. Because the beds are not flat. However flat you think your bed is, it's not flat. Hello, Twan. Welcome to another live stream of Adam Does Crimping. Anyone want to have a quick add up of how many wires, how many hours of streaming crimping I've done recently? Too many. That's how many. Again, random colors for the wires, so I don't really know which one's supposed to be positive. I'm going to guess it's the pink. This goes here. So this goes here. Random empty plastic bags. I'm kind of getting there a bit. I've not put my voltage jumpers on. How many fan things are here? Is it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fan headers? You're welcome. Oh, the stress. The stress of untidy wiring is doing my head in. I don't know what voltage any of the fans are. A label on here would be nice, and where to put the header here would be nice. I don't have any RSCS. It's not really done yet. I've designed a modified version, which I think is going to be design reviewed or something, checked at some point, but I don't know. So we have two fans here. The easiest option is probably just to plug them in next to each other. I'm just going to check. Hello Adam, just got my kit yesterday. Did you get EU plug on your power lead in the kit? If so, what's your solution for the UK? Yes, I got an EU plug. Put it in the bin and buy a UK one. That's the only solution. You should be able to find a decent cable absolutely fine. Kettle leads on Amazon or whatever local hardware store. It's just a standard cable. It's very, very, very basic. Wiring. Oh, even on this is the problem. The documentation for Mellow Fly is like, it's really good, but it's also really frustrating. They have pictures here. I don't know if these say fan or what. I'm assuming they're all just fan because they're all in the same box, and I know this side is fans. So I'm going to assume they're all fans, and we're going to plug in these two fans right next to each other, and we'll group them in the firmware, because I cannot be effed to like split them and combine the cables and all this malarkey. It's just not worth the effort. So third bank up is what I've put them in here, but there's no real rhyme or reason to it, I don't think. It's just jam them in. So one there and that one next to it. I think we'll end up just putting a bunch of zip ties around these cables around this side. Yep, normal computer. I mean, it's called, people call it a kettle lead because they used to come with kettles, but it is just a standard power lead. You'll find it for pretty much every appliance. Same thing. Or buy a new plug, which is probably cheaper than a whole new cable. What? You're not really supposed to have, it's probably not much cheaper actually anyway, but you're not supposed to put cables, new plugs onto the end of existing cables anymore. That is now a no-no. They have to be molded, a single molded continuous thing. So solution is stick it in bin and buy a new one, unfortunately. Oh, we've got a fly now. That'll cheer me up. Okay. So I think we've connected in all the stuff, all the gubbins from up there. Oh no, here's an extra gubbins. Thermistor. Where's this bad boy go? Second screen. Do. Oh, hello. Do. Heater, thermistor. Go to there. I think it's a UK regulation thing. I thought it would be an EU compliance thing. I mean, it's not to say it's impossible, but it's expected. I think it has been for quite a long time. I don't think it's illegal to build your own cables, but for compliance and stuff. No, why am I going down? It's right up the top here. So it's going to this cable in here. Where do we go? Somewhere like this, somewhere like that, somewhere like here. Chop. There. Cables bin done. JSTXH. Thermistors are again another one of those components where polarity doesn't actually matter. In this case, it's just measuring the resistance from one cable to the other, which will be the same regardless of which way you plug it in. So as long as you put the plugs in the right places, then you should be good to go. Don't know why we've got a 3-pin connector for a thermistor. That's a little bit bizarre. But sure. Now we have X end stop. This is one we looked at before. So that's going in up here. So this is where things start to get more difficult because you can see how far this wire's got to go. It comes from, well, hang on. No, what am I doing? This is Z end stop. I've done X. X is already plugged in. Yes, this is Z. I mean, it's going right next to it. But that's got to come in ziggly-zaggly across there, or up here, and over there. There's no easy route for this one. They all need to get zip tied down to the things I've put in, but I think we'll just cut off a small bit here. Well, when I was talking molded connectors, that's only for the mains power, making other cables, audio cables. fine. I think it's just a safety thing. People are generally prone to making mistakes, so they say you have to have them molded so that people don't have any inclination to change them. It used to be, especially, well, I know in the UK, back in the old days, when you'd buy an electrical appliance, it wouldn't actually come with a plug. You have to put it on yourself. Which is why, presumably, when they made curriculum and were teaching everyone at school, the old people that were used to buying their equipment without plugs said, oh, in the curriculum we must have teaching for how to wire a mains plug. Because that seems like a great thing to teach a 12-year-old. How about we just don't have loose plugs? Let's finish the product and then send it out. Dear. Right, that's that one, and then we've got Y and stop, and that's got to do basically exactly the same journey. You wanted a DIY kit, you're getting it. I know you're kind of joking, but the thing that makes it, well, in my mind, the difference between a kit and just some stuff that you bought is the instructions of how to make the thing. If you don't have the instructions, you've just bought some stuff that could potentially make a thing. Looks like you are potentially making a thing very nicely. I'm trying. I'm not sure it looks as good in real life as it does on the screen. And another 3-pin connector for end stop. And this one's going like here, so that one goes in there. This one goes in here. Right. What have we not done? Not done the display, but that was... I'm not fussed about that. We'll deal with that another time. There's no chamber sensor included. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to having it finished. I'm just a bit stressed about the getting there. Right, the next thing to do, which is why I'm clearing up some space, is to attach the whole bed together. This is something I've done a few times on stream, so hopefully nothing too new. I've got a restricted space today, although I could move the printer, that might help. Let's just move that down over here. Huh. Random screw. Right, we've got a bit of extra breathing space. Breathing space to do our bed assembly. Oh, I need to add an earth cable to this doobly-doo too. Presumably that's what we can use these for. Have they used M2.5? No. Those are M3. So we got... Oh, countersink that side. Okay, so that's top. Let's... We need some IPA for cleaning this. Oh, sorry, let's get this back. See, bunch of shitey dirt comes off when you clean it. that kind of shitey dirt is what will stop your sticky mat from sticking. That's actually the top, so that's where that's where this is going. Although, yeah, something like that, probably. Not sure what we're going to do about the screws. I kind of want a template for punching some holes. I think I've still got my punches. Yes, I do. So let's punch some holes. Punchy, punchy, punch. That should be just about big enough. And this looks like it's just going to map directly to there. So let's do some measuring. Do we have any good measuring tools within reach? A ruler of the magnetic kind, metallic even. And a mark, something to mark this with. I've got a pointy thing somewhere. This will do. No, that's not going to transfer. Oh, there's such a better way of doing this. Ta-da! Can I mark through? That should give us 4 marks. We kind of want something to protect the table because otherwise it's going to get absolutely wrecked. A small piece of scrap wood would be ideal. Wood would be ideal. Wood. I can't find anything. This'll do. This is the jig that I used before. It's probably not going to be perfect. Because these punches don't have a center locator. Just sort of by eye. Yeah, I'm sure many people will do that, but that's not a good way to do it because it means you can't get to the screws. Should have just gone for it. Missed. Oh my god, it absolutely destroyed the print. That's fine though. This is what it was for. Tap it, tap, tap, indeed. Tap it, tap, tap. We're getting them reasonably central. The main thing is to get access to the socket part of the screw head. That one missed quite badly. Let's see if we can. Get a bit of an extra large hole on that one, but what is this V-hive thing that you're talking about? Nice, that's good. Now, the challenge is actually sticking it to the place where you want to stick it. Because they have a tendency, well, when I do them, to end up twisting as I apply pressure to mount it. Nice. That's that on there. And then we got screw hole access as well. Nice little Brucey bonus. Now we've got to do this one on the back. So again, well, let's get it in. There we go with position first. So this one's obviously got the holes. Should be a bit easier this because we'll have a bit of wiggle room hopefully. Although there's no edge to really align it to. I'm not sure the holes are in the right place, so there's that. I have a feeling that this isn't going to go well. Sometimes you just know. Probably not the best application I've ever done. Unfortunately, I don't really have anything much good to weigh it down with. Oh, and I have not prepared myself any RTV to go around the edge. You're supposed to apply high temperature silicone to the edge to help prevent the edge peeling at any point. Yeah. As it happens, I do have some. It looks a bit like this. Red high temperature RTV silicone instant gasket. But I kind of need to deal with assembly of the printer at the moment. So what I'll probably do is assemble it on the printer and we'll get it all sorted and then take it off later. Maybe. I've actually never had one peel from the edge. I've had one come from the middle. Which the only thing you can do is apply it as best you can. Now the other thing we need to add on here is our earth connection. Because of capacitive coupling and general safety, we earth this. So I want a ring terminal like this, and then a screw, and probably a washer. There was no washers in the kit. Oh, there might have been. I think there was like 1 or 2 or something. 3 washer. Oh, not that. A locking washer might even be the best solution here, but I don't have one of those. But we should still be able to get a good clamping force with this. We just have a slight risk of release. But again, if it was included, we could do it properly. I'm just thinking the side that this goes in the printer, I think we actually want this to go this way. In fact, we can probably use... This goes... Yes, this way. So that will then bundle with those. There's actually no support on the bed for cables, on the bed mount plate thing. There's nowhere to manage cables. I checked before, which is not ideal, so we just have to manage them as best we can. Okay. Now we also need to send it through this cable, so let's get this open. This is not the standard drag chain that comes with the printer. This is a leftover from Voron build. Let's have some extra here. Should be enough. Down here. There we go. It does include a thermal fuse. You can see it. I don't know what the specifications are for that fuse. I'll assume that they're suitable. So you can see the lumps in the bed here. So this under here is the thermistor. You can see the thermistor wires here. This is the thermal fuse, and then the white wires will just be for the heater, which is the copper trace within the silicone. So, right, we'll be back in 2 minutes. Just going to have a quick break, grab a drink or whatever, and then we'll be back very shortly. Hello, Mega Viking. Oh, I forgot to refill my water bottle. Oh well. Right. So, this is the downside of doing the whole printer black. It's not quite so easy to see, is it? You don't get that nice contrast. Let's move my fancy VLMP out of the way. Steve gifting another 5-star stubs. Thank you very much, Steve. So what we do is we get some screws. So we got silicone spacers. We don't need the springs, but we do need some long screws. I believe there are some. There's a bunch of magnets that I don't think we can use because we have not installed them at the right point. 8x40. I think they're M3. The M3 countersinks, I think, is what we're looking for. Here we go. 4 M3 countersink. I don't know why there's a counter bore on one side. I'm assuming it's because these are just generic spacers. For those considering a kit, while I suspect the end result will be good, given the current status of development on instructions and stuff, don't expect it necessarily to be the easiest ride. If you're experienced with printer builds, then you will get there, but it will probably be a little bit stressful. If you've not done printer builds before, it's probably going to be pretty difficult. I mean, obviously you can follow along with what I've done, and you should make it in the end. I need some screwy things here. Springs or silicone? That is the ultimate question. Yes, isn't it just? I've never used silicone spacers before. They kind of make a bit of sense in that they're sort of like a spring. I don't know how we're tightening these jubilees though. Ah, there's some actual actual things. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the kind of bed nuts. It's unfortunate. I mean, they made them so small. Oh, these don't look right. Mm. These look like they're made backwards. Why is the hex on this side? The hex needs to be on the inside. We also have no more M3 nuts, I don't think. Or do we? Oh, I thought there wasn't many, but I might be wrong. What did I just do with the screws? Yeah, maybe I have got the wrong ones. But how many? I've only got... I don't know. But that's the wrong size, isn't it? This won't fit anyway. This is... These are different to these. I mean, these seem right for that. But these are not right for this. They're even M4. Right. Let's just whack some M3 nuts on for now. all I really need it for at the moment is to stop the bed falling off. So that'll work from that perspective. To be honest, if you have any spare, I'd probably just recommend getting those Creality wheels. Or making your own with some heatset inserts and stuff. This build, I think, would go a lot smoother if they used heatset inserts in quite a few of the places. I think I mentioned that in my feedback document. Let's try not to kill this. Right, so now we've got the drag chain. That's going to go on here. Again, we need some short M3 screws. M3x6, there's 2. M3, another more different M3x6. Ah! Another more different M3x6. Oh, it's just chaos. So I don't even know what these screws are for, so we're just using them for this. This was way easier doing it from the front. Yes. Dude, trust me, my feedback document is a lot longer than yours. In comparison, your wall was barely a hurdle. I did get a bit exhausted on the providing feedback front. While I knew it was a beta kit and I was expecting to give feedback, I am still a bit limited in my allowance for how much time that process takes. I don't want to be spending 1,000 hours doing feedback. A zip tie hole on this might be nice, but I don't have one, so I just might. So whenever you have drag chain, it should always be supported at both ends of the drag chain, like ideally directly after the connection. As soon as it comes out of the drag chain, past the screw holes, it should be securely mounted down, which is why the IGUS chains have those extra little tabs at the end. Well, I believe that's why. I'm not sure what else they did before. But a lot of printers, a lot of people design stuff for drag chains and then don't put that in, and they don't leave space for it, so you end up in a bit of a pickle. So let's move this up to the top now. We can actually get a pretty good indication of where the top really is, because we have the whole structure in place. We'll put the textured side on for now, Oh, those holes at the back, I think, are also for bed alignment, maybe? Yes. Okay, I'm going to move this earth connection because this is for a different thing. Isn't it great when you get information? I think what I might do actually is leave it there, but just use a longer screw. And then it will poke you up on the other side and give me somewhere to align the bed to. So I'll put another one on the hole on the other side of the bed. Again, this could have done with some cutouts in the bed surface. I know you can't see this. Not perfect, I'd say, but not too bad. Just a couple of screws sticking up at the back. Hopefully they're not going to hit on anything hot end and extruder wise. So let's bring this up. Nozzle's not hot tightened, but it should be pretty close. So if we put that there, we can screw our end stop up. Let's give ourselves plenty of wiggle room to begin with. Okay, that'll do for now. That should be a secure end stop to give me some movement. So now we know the height, the max height of the bed, about here, and then we can fix this in a suitable position. We know we'll get the full range of movement, so pretty high like that. So now we need to poke these all through here. Oh, come on. Oh, the TP bracket came off, that's why. Bring this through. I did prepare part of the bed cables earlier, so that's why those are already cut to length and whatnot. These ones are not there. This is thermistor. Right. So this is one side of the bed, and this is going to connect up here. If we can somehow poke it through this mess of cables. What are we connecting here? That's the earth for that. This needs to go to blue. There's no way that's reaching. How have I done that? It's a bit short, which is a problem. It's already on the limit. I didn't leave enough cable. Oh no. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's just going to have to dodgily go in front of everything. So that's the neutral side, and the live side gets switched. So we take the cover off of here. We have this for here. We're a bit zoomed out today. That one there. So we've probably got enough. Oh, this is the earth. This needs to connect into here. Plenty of spare here. Again, we'll fish it through. It's a bit of a mess here, but yeah, I want the white cable to go around the back, but it's just not long enough, so unfortunately it's just going to hang over the front like that. Tweezers. Oh, I've put it around that cable. You silly sausage. Huh. That will go in there. Maybe another one there. And up here to somewhere here. I've gone into ASMR mode now, where it's just noises and no talking. It might be quite satisfying if you could actually hear like the little connectors locking into place and that kind of thing. Oh, I've put 2 pins because thermistors are 2 pins, but this board for some reason uses 3. Grr. Let's check our wearing diagram. Second screen. So, what is this? Bed thermistor. Up here, up here, up here. Huh? Why is it there? Okay, so it's shorter than I need. What a random place for it to go. Should have checked that before I did the wires on the end. Now we have to do some shorter ones. Oops. Right. Have we done everything? I think we might have done. I mean, it's not everything. Obviously, we've got no panels and it's not working. We've got no firmware, all this kind of stuff. But let's go through. LED lights. No, we've not done those because we've got nowhere to mount them. Well, we've got somewhere to mount them. We've got nowhere to wire them. We've got no pass-through hole. Rec, are you still here? Where did you pass through your LED wires? Thank you. I do really like this soldering iron because it kind of goes off by itself, and when you tap a button, it will just go straight back to operating temperature, which is pretty handy dandy. Handy Andy, handy Andy dandy dandy. Thank you. I shall check in just a second. I'm just going to finish doing these inserts. Oh, you had a nice view of that. Boo. Ah, so it's the back panel screws that I've got that go with the power supply, I suppose. And then you've got... Oh, you use that hole. One of the ones for the filament. Seeing as you only need one of those. There's one on each side. Kind of makes sense, I guess, but I don't think you can fit a JSTXH through it, can you? No, not quite. Very close. Oh, you sort of maybe can. Okay, well, let's have a go at mounting these then. I run my PTFE tube out the same slot the tool head came out of. Eh? There's two PTFE tube inputs anyway, isn't there? There's one left and one right. So we're going to use my Dayspring LEDs. I suppose you could wire the LEDs down there. Yeah, should we do that? I could put my LEDs through that hole and then you leave the PTFE hole spare. I might do the opposite of what you've done. So We need some M3x8s. M3 hammer nuts. What are we doing for time? Shoot, we're at 2 hours. Okay. Might have to stop there then. Might be able to do 15 minutes more. See if we can do this in 15 minutes. 3, 4. Let's go get some M3x8s. This is the kind of thing that I want right at where I'm working. Because at the moment they're just kind of scattered around the workshop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that didn't sound good. It's okay. So, there's a couple of ways you can do these LEDs. I think we're going to get these on now. Unfortunately, mine didn't print very well, the covers on mine. The bamboo really struggled with the bridging part, which I've not had as a problem before, so that was a bit unfortunate. Oh, this one looks awful. Oh, come on. The hell? Why is it struggling with this bit so much? Hopefully can we do that? Yeah, I think we can do a single one there. So we can do mostly doubles, which covers 2 LEDs. And you can set them up, I think, so that you keep the screw holes free at both ends. And that way you get these nice baffles, which direct the light nicely. Unfortunately, the bridges are a bit of a mess, but what can you do? Well, print it again with different settings, obviously. Or you can just go with it anyway. Yeah, so as long as this single piece is between the 2 screw holes, you should be able to leave them free. Oh, this one's made a right meh. Now we need to get them set up on the machine. Oh, unfortunately, this is just at the same level as the lights. I'm not going to be able to see it very easily. Can I lift it up a bit to try and get you a better angle? So the idea is that these sit in here something like this. Why has everyone else stopped chatting? I feel like there's only 2 of us here. There are 31 people. Okay. So. Oh, this is the wrong way around. That looks about the right place for this one. So we tighten one, and then we can loosely assemble this. And that will help us align this one. And then we can tighten this. I made it. Still here, still here. I'm here just lurking while I work. You're just really quiet. It's just me and Rec having a chill building this VzBot. So that's that. Now we can do this one on this side. Let's make sure we get the right one on the right side this time. So that's going to go onto here. That goes this end. I'm tired, dirty. Not all in for this bloody emoji thing. Not all informed but what is happening. But I'm here with a beer. Oh, I could do with a beer or something. I don't really like beer, but a cider would be nice. Oh, that was not good. Luckily, LEDs are pretty difficult to break. Where do we want it? About there? That'll probably be good enough. Oops, forgot to tighten it. It's the slight downside of the this mounting mechanism is that you can't assemble the LEDs on and then tighten them, which does annoy me a little bit. But I'm not sure of any good, easy way to do it differently. Yeah, I think the no color or silver one, to me, it doesn't look bad. It just looks a little bit unfinished. Raw aluminium parts look good initially, but they just don't stay looking cool, even if they are the same. Right. This is starting to look like an absolute unit of a 3D printer. Oh! And it feels like one too. Don't turn your CPAP into 100% when you have little parts on the bed of the printer. They just go yeet. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm glad they gave us the black frame. I went with the black frame. They gave us an option for silver. Yeah. Black, it just looks... Have you got your part colours sorted, Steve? That would definitely be one improvement I'd like to have done on mine. Making sure there's like a accent colour in there. You could just print, all the printed parts could be red or your accent colour. I chose to do them all black, but they could quite happily be the accent colour. Because there's enough black from the CNC and the panels and the frame. Anywho, it's 2:15 now. 2 hours and 12 minutes. So I don't have any more time to do this today. I have my running now, so I'm going to go do a 5K. This is exhausting, but I'm glad I'm doing it. We're getting it done, people. We are getting it done. I might do extra streams over the weekend as some extra bonuses. In fact, it might... I need to try and get it all finished by Tuesday. So everything, including the first print, will probably be done by Tuesday next week. So it may end up being quite a bit of weekend streaming or something. I might do firmware off stream or configure or share the file. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work, but if you're keen to be to stay watching and keep up to date with what's going on, obviously subscribe. Like that goes without saying anything. But just keep an eye on your notifications and whatnot, because there'll probably be some extra streams between now and Tuesday to try and get the whole thing polished off. That's hopefully including panels and firmware and first print. Oh yeah, get on the Discord. I'll always announce my live stream. Well, pretty much always announce my live streams on Discord. All the CNC parts in our kits are black, and Anna mentioned the frame might be painted. Really hard to tell without scratching it. I'm pretty sure it's painted. Anodized just looks different. Paint, I don't know. I've never seen anodized that looks like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, the glossiness gives it away, I think. And it looks a little, you can tell it kind of looks thicker. It kind of takes those sharp edges off a little bit. Makes it look a little bit thicker than anodized would. Does the kit come with a filament runout sensor, or is that just in the wiring diagram? That's just in the wiring diagram. Yeah. I think even with anodize, because obviously that's an electronic process, I think even with, you get a kind of overspray look with anodize, even in stuff like this, because it's difficult to get the anodize all the way down inside because of the way doobly-doos. I think, not an expert on anodizing, but I'm pretty sure even with anodize, if you have restrictive spaces, the fluid is kind of neutralized by the time it gets... Anyway, not the time for a technical discussion on the anodizing process. Oh, yeah, diddly-doos. Hujima Watsits and whatnot and doobly-doos. Anyway, yes, keep plugged into the old notification system. Thank you for everyone, all the members and Steve for your extra gifted memberships. Very kind, and we'll see you fairly soon for hopefully the end of wiring. I'll do all that, and then we'll get on with some actual whizzy business and have some fun. So yes, thanks everyone. Cheerio, and I'll see you again very soon.